Is there a science behind happiness? This is a question that I heard the other day on a podcast that I was listening to, and I found it really interesting. Welcome to Coffee with Kelly on the Beach. So this podcast that I was listening to is actually being led by a woman interviewing a professor from Yale University. And she leads a class at Yale that has been extremely popular that focuses on the science behind happiness. And essentially she runs a 10-week course where you focus on one thing every week and then report back on the results of your efforts. So I'm at the beach, I'm with my family, I'm more relaxed than usual, and I thought, you know what, I should give this a try. And so one of the things in that 10-week program is to focus on finding one thing a day that you really zone in on that really brings you happiness. Now, the example she gave, ironically, was enjoying a morning cup of coffee. And just the smell of it, the warmth of it, the whole experience. And now if you really focus on that, it can bring you more happiness. So I've been trying this out for the past 3 days and wanted to share with you my findings. So on day 1, I was sitting on the beach and my children were here playing in the water, and I was watching, because of course I'm watching to make sure that their heads keep coming up as they're jumping in the waves and that they're okay. But I decided to really zone in on the moment and really focus on what they were doing. And my youngest child, Keaton, is who really caught my eye, for he was playing in those waves for over 30 minutes, jumping into the waves, letting them crash over his head. But it wasn't that, it was the smile on his face. He was genuinely so happy, enjoying that moment, enjoying everything about that moment. And as I watched him, it made me happy watching him enjoy jumping in the waves. It made me really reflect back on that now several times. And every time I reflect back on that experience, I get this feeling of happiness. I'm thinking that this professor may be onto something. The other example I wanted to share with you is that yesterday morning, my husband and I got up at 5:15, even though that felt very early after the night before, got up at 5:15 to walk down to the beach to catch the sunrise. It was magical. It was really magical. Now, I've seen the sunrise before, but there was something different about really focusing in on the colors and the slowness of that sun as it came up over the horizon and the sound of the crashing waves. And I think I'll be reflecting back on that experience as well and the real happiness that brought me in the moment. So I'm going to include a link to the podcast in this Coffee with Kelly. And if you decide to go through and try this out, put in the comments, what is it that brings you happiness? What are those little things that you can focus on every day that actually bring you that feeling of happiness? And let's share it with one another. Because from my perspective, we can never have too much happiness or too much coffee. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week on Coffee with Kelly.